For those of us that have traveled University Avenue for many, many years, we have seen things rise and fall. We've seen things change. I was just talking with Tom a little bit about the nature of the auto industry and dealerships and how that's changed over the years. And so we've gone through a lot of changes on the Avenue, but we ain't seen nothing yet. Because the changes that we're going to see on University Avenue are going to be fast, they're going to be furious, they're going to be sometimes infuriating, they're going to be challenging, but we are doing everything that we can to really maximize the opportunity that we know that is presented by the Central Corridor, the investment that has occurred on the Avenue that will continue to occur over the next couple of years, and as we start to envision what can really occur on this Avenue and how it will be transformed, not just for the years to come, but really for the decades to come, we know that we have an incredible opportunity. So I want to thank you all to be here at the site of the old Midway Chevrolet. It was, again, on the Avenue where there were so many car dealers up and down the street. If you ever, there wasn't a car that you didn't, if you didn't find it on University Avenue, you didn't need it. You didn't need that kind of car. But one of the things with the high intensity of the uses on University Avenue, the manufacturing base, the old kind of uses of University Avenue, there were a lot of, obviously, some pollution that was occurring, that was being deposited along the Avenue. And so one of the things as we look to redevelopment, we need to make sure that we're taking and converting these brownfield sites and really creating green sites so that we can create the new future for University Avenue. Obviously, that's not an easy task to do, and nor is it a cheap one. Just the testing of the soils, really understanding the nature of the contamination and what the plan would be for cleanup takes resources. We've been very blessed in the city of St. Paul to have incredible federal partners that understand that local communities need those resources in order to get the job done. Nobody has been a bigger and better supporter of that than our Senator Amy Klobuchar. So as we stand here today to announce that we will have $1 million to test the sites, up to 10 sites on University Avenue, to understand the nature and the conditions of the soils, we have a lot of partners and a lot of friends to thank. But at this point, I'd like to turn the podium over to one of those folks, Senator Amy Klobuchar.
Well, thank you so much, Mayor. And I've already had the experience living on one side of University Avenue and driving to St. Paul through the traffic with my daughter. And now I know when I do it the next time, I'm going to think, this is furious change. This is infuriating, right? But this is my vision for the future. And I will think of the mayor's words as I drive, and it's just going to make it so much better for me. So thank you for that. I'm so excited about this project, the bigger project, as well as the work that we're doing here. We've worked very hard in Washington to make sure that the Central Corridor project, through tough times and good times, got funded. Since I came to the Senate, we requested and got funding every single year. And one year, I was the only one in the Senate requesting funding. Of course, I was the only senator at the time, but I'm so glad to be joined now by Al Franken. I know his representative is here, and we will continue to work on these really important transit projects. With gas prices stretching family budgets, it's important that we provide solutions that ensure safe and reliable transportation options for our citizens. But we're here today to highlight this uniquely collaborative public-private effort that includes city, county, regional governments, as well as businesses from a range of different industries. Working together, you were able to leverage substantial federal support from the EPA to both create development and address environmental challenges. This project will evaluate 20 or more brownfields along this heavily trafficked corridor. The work that's going to be done is critical to identify and mitigate contaminated sites, but also to provide investors with that peace of mind so that they know the sites are not contaminated and that they have a safe and tremendous opportunity for investment, so they're not going to get sued in the future. Nationally, brownfields development has proven to be a significant economic opportunity. Brownfield cleanups have created over 61,000 jobs nationwide, leveraged over $18 per each federal dollar spent, and increased residential property values 2 to 3%. They've also increased property values within a mile radius of a brownfield site by $0.5 million to $1.5 million. programs like this are helping to turn old Rust Belt areas into Green Belt areas. So I'm just excited to be a part of this announcement today and looking forward. Are we going to be testing this ourselves? Or personally, yes. Personally, like, are we going to like taste it, or what are we going to do? Anyway, looking forward to being part of this as well. Thank you, everyone, for all your help. It's an exciting day. Thank you. Oh, and I get to introduce the Councilmember Stark, who has also been very involved in getting this funding, and I want to thank him for his work as well. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Senator Klobuchar, Mayor Coleman. This is an exciting day on University Avenue. And I actually get to say, thanks to the clouds hanging on for a minute here, that the sun is shining on University Avenue today. Mayor Coleman mentioned some of the challenges that some of the folks out here are facing with construction, and it's great to be out here to celebrate a real victory for this community. My constituents and neighbors in the immediate neighborhood here, I think, will benefit greatly from this work, investigating the soil so that we can get to redevelopment along this corridor in a way that will really reweave the fabric of this neighborhood and make a great place once again. This great program is a critical step towards that vision that we all share for a future University Avenue that is one of those great places, not just in St. Paul and in this region, but frankly in the country, to live and work and spend time. So these grants are available up and down this corridor in St. Paul, all the way from Rice Street to Emerald Street at the Minneapolis city limits. The property and business owners who take advantage of these grants can work with a variety of contractors, including St. Paul's own American Engineering Testing, who are here today, and you'll hear from Dan in a few moments from them, among others. And they are just off of University Avenue themselves. So right now, let me introduce Steve Kramer, the President and Executive Director of Project for Pride in Living, whose vision for this site is going to help us turn this old car lot into a great new mixed-use development. Steve, thanks for being here.
Thank you, Council Member. It's my pleasure to be here. PPL is working with our partner Excelsior Bay Partners, and Kent Carlson and Arn Cook are here. And our objective is to turn this site into the beautiful project that you see depicted there, developed by architect David Graham from ESG, which would represent 4 stories of new construction, 144 units of workforce housing for young professionals who would benefit from living on the Central Corridor, along with about 13,000 square feet of commercial to really activate and vitalize University Avenue at the street level. But for any developer, really the fundamentals are site control and site preparation. And what this grant will allow many potential developers along University Avenue to do is be confident of what they're facing as they begin to deal with the legacy of the auto industry on University Avenue and bring this next generation of development to University. On a personal note, I have to say, Mayor, that your words rang true to me. When I first arrived in the Twin Cities 32 years ago to go to graduate school, I was riding on the 16 bus and I looked out and I saw it. I saw my green Chevy Malibu that I bought from this car dealership. So it's really a delight to be part of an effort to kind of reinvent the city as this next generation of transit comes onto University Avenue. And this grant will really be fundamentally helpful, not only to our efforts with Kent and Arn, but for many others as well. So thank you very much. Pleasure to be here this morning. And now I am introducing the president of the environmental testing firm here who's going to do this work.
Thank you. I'm Dan Larson with American Engineering Testing, and by the way, I bought my first car on University Avenue. It was a 1976. It was a Honda Civic with a little bit of rust on it. It was a little used, but it did very well for me over many years. American Engineering Testing is a proud partner with the City of St. Paul, with Med Council, with Ramsey County in this important brownfield program. The Central Corridor light rail transit line is real important to not only St. Paul, Minneapolis, and everybody else, and we're really proud to be part of the first project that we have here utilizing the funds from this grant. As environmental consultants, we're able to help the city and property owners assess the condition of their property as they plan redevelopment efforts. American Engineering Testing is a 21-year resident of University Avenue. We first moved here back in 1990 at the corner of Cleveland and University. So we are looking forward to seeing the light rail line come through here as well, and look forward to all the development that will come with it. We too would like to encourage property owners along the Central Corridor in St. Paul to apply for this grant money as they contemplate redevelopment of their property, excuse me. So again, we're happy to be here. Now the fun starts. You guys wanted to touch and feel and test. We'll go over here right now. We'll go over here right now, and I'll give a brief explanation of what we have on the table. And we've got some of our scientists here as well. If you want to get a little more technical, I might have to hand off to them. But we'll head over to the table right now.
Okay, good.
We can sample the soil continuously as we go down, looking for contaminants, looking for conditions that may need to be cleaned up. The first samples we see over here are we call them split spoon samples. This came from the larger rig behind us. Now these are advanced by a hammer. Yeah, these are advanced by a hammer that pounds it into the ground. You sample periodically with this. You don't sample continuously.
All there is to it.
They pull it up, then we can kind of get a sense of the profile. You can see some of the remnants of the asphalt here, some aggregate base right below that.
You mean one that used to be the car dealership?
Yeah, right there. This one was right, you can see the hole behind me here with the auger still sticking out, so we started there.
Okay.
Then you get into a little darker stuff here. It's probably some fill material, some rubble that was just below the pavement. And then you start getting into some of the soils.
And then the Honda Civic.
Yeah, the Honda Civic and everything else.
I lost a watch here once.
Well, we'll find it for you, I'm sure.
All right, okay.
Into the soils, and then finally into what we call natural soils. So these are fill soils. We get into something more natural with it. That was
So this is
originally,
below this?
Yep, originally deposited. And this is what it looks like before it's split open. And, oops.
Oh.
And so you can see this was below this. So you get into some of the natural sands deposited in here. You can kind of see some of the striations.
When it used to be a beach.
Yep.
Look at that.
Midway Beach.
Is there anything you can see with the natural eye that indicates it looks good, it doesn't look good, any sort of...
From a contamination standpoint?
Yeah.
You can. It depends on the level of contamination, but oftentimes it's latent in the soil and you can smell it oftentimes. That's why what we do is we take these samples periodically from here, put them in here, and then we stick the PID in, and that is able to assess whether there's some contaminants in the soil.